big thing happened over the last couple of days for Michigan and for Detroit and for the country. Howard knows all about this, but some of the biggest auto plants in the world were planned for Mexico. And I've been talking about it for the last year. I've been talking about the whole concept for 10 years, 15 years. I mean, even as a private person, I couldn't believe how how companies were and countries were coming in and stealing our jobs, stealing our plants. Everyone's unemployed. Then they sell cars back in. All they do is you get fired, and then they make the car and they sell it into our country. They make a lot of money. We make nothing. We have unemployment. And I've watched this for 20 years. I've watched it for so long, and it's disgraceful. And so I have good news for you. I've been talking about, in particular, one giant plant, bigger than anything you've ever seen. And you know the story where a person I know he builds plants. That's what he does. And I said, I want to see a plant, a big one, about a year and a half ago. And he said, okay, when do you want to go to Mexico? I said, no, I want to see one here. He said, we don't build them here big. We build them, but they're little by comparison. China is building the biggest ones in Mexico. I said, that's not good. I don't like that. No. And he said, well, that's the way it is. I said, I'm not going to Mexico. I'm not going to look at him in Mexico. I want to see him here. So anyway, time went by, and I started thinking about it. And in speeches, because it's just an automatic instinct to me, I started saying, well, if they're building a plant, they're going to wipe out, here. That means they're building a plant. They're going to send the cars into our country one way or the other by the millions. And Detroit and Michigan, because, you had many more. You're probably 60% wiped out from what it was in its heyday, maybe more than that. I said, you're going to get wiped out. The rest of it's going to be. And then you have a union head who wants to build electric cars, and they're going to all be made in China. You know that. And we have a thing called liquid gold. They have, which is oil and gas. We have a lot of it. And by the way, Brian, stand up for a second, if you would, please. This guy is he's like you. He gets it so much. You know each other, maybe. He gets it so much. He gets it like nobody. And he's been fighting against all of this nonsense for so long, and so the electric cars are going to. And by the way, Elon Musk is a great friend of mine. He gave me a tremendous endorsement. He's right now campaigning in Pennsylvania because he thinks we have to win if we don't win this election. Because she's a Marxist. This woman has no idea what she's doing, and we can't let her be president. I don't want to be rude about it. We can't let her be president. This country is finished if that happens. Beyond a normal candidate, this country would be absolutely finished if she got it, so we have to stop her. But what happened is I've been thinking about it and what it would do to the country. And these are plants that are bigger than anything you've seen. They will knock out the cars. You press a button and the whole thing starts operating. And so I started talking about this what do you think, Brian, less than a year ago, that I won't let it happen a year ago, yeah? And I said, I'm not going to let it happen if they do this plant in Mexico, right near the border, and a couple of others. I'm going to put giant tariffs on it for 100%, and if that doesn't work, I'll go to 200%. I don't care. They're not going to be selling cars here. Now, if they want to build their plant here, I hope here, but at least in the United States, someplace in the United States, it's a whole different ballgame. But we're not going to have them building them in other countries, sending them into the United States, taking all those jobs. So I've been announcing it, and I've been talking about it, and I saw the gentleman that builds the plants, because I was here a couple of weeks ago at the Detroit conference, as you know, and it was really the auto conference. And so I look in the audience, and there he is, the man that builds the plants. And I said, could I see you a minute before the speech? And after the speech, I saw him, and I said, so how is that plant doing? He said, sir, they've decided not to build. I said, why? He said, because I think you're going to be elected, and if you put tariffs, on, it's right. So, thank you. And that was easy. I didn't even do anything other than say, I'm telling you, the man said it right over here. It's the most beautiful word in the dictionary. You have other words that are damn nice, like love, but I tell you, I think it's more beautiful than love, the word tariff. And so here it works. Hey, Brian, here it works without even doing anything. They thought there was a chance, and they're not going to spend $2 billion on building a plant and then have, Trump get elected and put 200%, and if that wasn't enough, I'd raise it. And again, the higher it goes, the more likely it is that they build in this country. But think of it, so they stopped this giant plant just on the basis. Now, if I don't get elected, they will start it up as sure as you're sitting there. Mm-hmm. These people have no clue. She has no clue what she's doing. She wants to raise everybody's taxes. She's a disaster. And other than that, I like her quite a bit, right? But no, I don't care even about dislike. Somebody has to come in. We did great the first time. We did better the second time. As everybody knows, we got millions of more votes. And frankly, if I didn't, and some bad things happened, and let's not talk about it, because we're going to make up for it this time. Too big to rig. But I will tell you, if I didn't do well the second time, I wouldn't have done it. But I watched Biden and her, and now especially her, because she's worse than Biden. I watched them, and I said, I got to run again. I got to run again. That's what happened, because they said they're ruining our country with the open border. I mean, 8,000, the drug dealers, 8,000 drug dealers, 13,099 murderers in jail. They're going to let them out of jail. Some with death penalties. They're just going to say, well, this is easier. We'll just send them to the United States because their people don't know what. But think of 13,000 plus people who murdered people, and they're going to be let free in our country. And then you have their prisons are being emptied up, like Venezuela. They're emptying up their prisons. Their crime is down 72% in Venezuela. If they get elected, we're all friends. If they get elected, we'll all meet next year in Venezuela, because it'll be the safest country, because they've emptied out. And let me tell you, it was a very unsafe country. Caracas, you couldn't walk across the street. It's sort of like some of our cities are getting, right? Our cities are getting like that. So just the thought of me getting elected stopped somebody from destroying the rest of Detroit, from destroying the state of Michigan's auto industry. And with your auto industry, so goes Michigan. I mean, it's a big deal. And we're going to reverse that very easily. He knows, because he's got a natural, when I explained it to him, so he's a business, he's a savant. Is that good? He's a savant. He knows. It took me about 2 minutes. After about 2 minutes, I get it. How long did it take you to understand the word tariff? 2 minutes or less?
From you, it took 2 minutes.
Yeah, it took very little. He figured it out very quickly. He wasn't exposed to it, frankly. He actually said, you mean you can really do that? He couldn't believe it. And we have another one, Paulson. He sort of was.
He's got it too.
He can't even sleep at night. He's so excited about it. But they have to be. And then we have stupid people that don't know. They say, oh, tariff. But they're very stupid people. We have a senator from Pennsylvania who decided not to run. He fought me all the way on tariffs. This guy fought me and fought me. His name's Toomey. He fought me, and I wouldn't endorse him, and he decided not to run based on that, and that's good, because all he did was, I said, so if China charges 100%, can we, for a similar product, charge them 100%? No, sir. Okay. Can we charge them 50% or 25%? No, sir. Why? It's not free trade. I said, explain that. I said, can we charge them 10%, 2%, or 1%? No, sir, it's not free trade. I said, you gotta be kidding. And I said, I wouldn't endorse you under any circumstances. Now, I don't know if he really believed this, or, because he's not a stupid guy. Did he really believe this, or was there something else going on? But anyway, so we're gonna bring back the auto industry, but also, Tim, a lot of other industries. This pertains to many, many. We talk about cars because it's so nice to talk about cars. It's sort of the ultimate thing to manufacture. But we're going to bring back a lot of industry, and it's going to be great. Fantastic presentation. We appreciate it from everybody. And is that your father over there? Who is that guy, though, the good-looking guy? Is he your father with that shirt on? I like that color. I'm going to wear a couple of them now, I think. I've got such support from the Teamsters, I'm going to have to wear that, I think. But I want to thank everybody. And again, support. Always, you've been with me, and I appreciate it very much, Jim. Thank you very much. Thank you.